Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we have some new tail lamps for the E90. So we're going from the stock pre-LCI tail lamps, and some of you might be thinking that we're going LCI, but we are doing the Shadowline or the Blackline trim tail lamps. And down here on Amazon, I actually found some sequential smoked turn signals for the front fenders, which are going to be like a minute install. Super easy, cheap install for anyone looking to do something to their car. But these tail lamps here, I know Depot makes a set very similar to this. I'm not sure if Depot is the actual supplier for BMW, but these tail lamps are the BMW part numbers. They were on sale on ECS Tuning, so I opted to get those. Actually, not me, but they were gifted to me by my mom and stepdad. Thank you so much. This was a Christmas present from them. Super awesome. I'm glad that they're kind of supporting and feeding my car addiction, you know, but we'll just go ahead and jump into it. Sorry for any noise in the background. We're working with the garage open today. It's a beautiful day, so just letting that nice air and sunshine come through. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start by going in the trunk here. And unfortunately, I already kind of started it. Let me get my bar light turned on here. My memory card crapped out on me and it wanted me to format it. So hopefully I don't lose anything here. But we're gonna go ahead and start with the driver's side corner. And there's this little panel here that has tabs on either side. So you can kind of just press in and pull out. And if you need to, we have a little pocket screwdriver, just a little flathead here, and there's a little space on the inside of this connector, or you can get in there with your fingernail and kind of wiggle this out. You can go ahead and grip the harness itself, but try not to pull on the actual wires. You don't want to pull them out of the connector itself. So we're going to go ahead and press down this little tab, and you can kind of just wiggle and pull the connector out. And just tuck it down below as you need it. But there's going to be 3 8mm on the back of this tail lamp, which we can see on the back of the Shadowline here. So you can see where those nuts will go. The new ones don't come with new nuts, so save the 3 that come off it, as well as the ones for the other side too. So for this portion, we're going to go ahead, undo this, lean back and pull out. And we can pull that tray out. And same thing with that little pocket screwdriver. I can come in here and show you. There's that little black hole there, which you can take and press down on. And with your other hand, you can pull out the connector. I've already kind of started it, so it should just pop out like that. And we'll go ahead and just tuck that into the corner. And same thing, we'll release those and then pull out the tail lamps themselves. Be sure not to drop the 3 8mm, as you know, when you do take them off, be careful because they can fall behind and then you're going to be taking off all this interior paneling here. So just be careful when you're taking those off. But once those 3 are released, they might be stuck a little bit just because of the seal on the back, but just give it a nice wiggle and pull it straight back and out. There's our old tail lamp. And I'm not sure about this one, but no, this one's still sealed all right. But this one over here is giving me some trouble, and you can see the actual lens is separating from the housing itself. So it's time to get these done. So it's actually the next day. I had to resolve a few camera issues. I had something going on with the actual memory card itself, and I think it was a formatting thing. So I saved what I could, but we have the outer tail lamps installed. So both Shadowline tail lamps on the outside installed. So I came out pretty good. Just a reverse process of exactly how it came out. And then we're gonna start working on the tops here. So as you can see, we still have the originals in, and we're gonna have to remove this panel. So 4 pop clips on the bottom, and then 4 along the top, along that inner edge there. And then we're gonna have to remove the emergency handle. So there's this little tab on the inside. So you're gonna press down and kind of pull this cable towards you, and it should release. I'm probably gonna have to do that with 2 hands. So I'm gonna set the camera down and we'll get that all removed. So now we have that panel underneath removed, and we're gonna go ahead and, just like the other tail lamps below, we have the same style clips. So if you can get your fingernail in there and kind of wiggle them off. If not, we can use the pocket screwdriver. We kind of get in there and work this down. I think that should have been enough right there. Man, I might have to do this with two hands. These are being stubborn. Okay, so there's one and number two. And there's gonna be one 8mm nut right here, which you're gonna back this off. And then this tail lamp is gonna come kind of out and then away. It's got a couple feet right here, or hands that kind of grab on to the edge. So it's really just this one 8mm that's holding on, and it's the same thing with this side. So if we actually look at the back of the Shadowline lamp itself, this is going to be for the passenger side. It looks like, no, sorry, driver's side. Set that down. You can see that there's this clip here that actually presses against the body. So you're going to want to actually take this nut off, and don't worry, the nut is, it looks like it's actually attached to this clip here. So slide that off, just remember the orientation, and then you can see the feet here and here that actually grab on to the trunk side. So when you actually do go to install it, it kind of goes, slides on and then sets in, and then you can install that 8mm. So watch out, because the plastic piece that does press up against the body does separate from the 8mm nut here. So let's go ahead and set those aside. And then you can kind of press up, which it was a little sticky for me, and then just kind of wiggle it out to the left here towards the outside, and then you can pop it free. There we go. So same thing, watch out, because that nut separates from that little plastic foot. And press out, and then pull away. There we go. Perfect. And this is a great time too. We're gonna go ahead and just clean around the edges of the actual lamps themselves. You can see there's some dirt buildup there. We just want the lights to seal as best as they can. So I'll go ahead and just close this for now. So I just have a little bottle of soapy water, and I'm just gonna go around, just wet it a little bit, and just wipe it all down. Just get that as clean as possible so we can get a nice seal on the tail lamp itself. And remember, do that with the outside. I'm not sure if I was able to save that footage, but go ahead and make sure you're cleaning around the sealing edge of the other tail lamps on the outside as well. So we have the hardware removed from each inside tail lamp. And remember about the feet. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of lay this down in place. And make sure you kind of tilt it to the outside before you go ahead and press it down in. Make sure those feet are underneath. So you can see here, there we go, there's one and two. Those are both settled underneath. And just kind of tilt this down into place. Pull it down, make sure it's fairly centered. Look at your gapping. Make sure it's all good. Might slide this back a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. And then as far as this piece of hardware goes, so we're gonna grab that. The orientation of that little clip can only go one way, and there's that little slot there, so you're gonna slide that in, and that'll prevent it from rotating while you tighten down the nut. So just go ahead and do that hand tight. You don't want to kill it, because you don't want to squish that seal so bad that it does start to leak down the road. So now that we have both tail lamps on the trunk side in, go ahead, put a towel over here so your trunk doesn't lock, or like me, if you forget to undo your battery. Then let's go ahead and actually close the trunk, because what we're gonna do is go ahead and just check gapping on both sides. And so we're looking for it to be even here, as well as here. It's flush across, and it's even all the way down and around. And same thing over here. which these look freaking awesome. This looks so much better. So much better. Oh, this is exciting. So go ahead, open this guy back up, and we'll go ahead like this, make sure everything's all plugged in snug. We'll go ahead and put that in, and make sure you feed your emergency release back through when you are putting in your panel back here. Sorry for the glare that's kind of coming through around the back, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the brakes, the parking lamps, and the reverse lamps for you, just so you can get an idea of what the Shadowline package looks like. I'm sure it all looks good. Man, these things look freaking killer. Super excited. I guess I'll see it on video when I go to edit everything. But let's move on to the sequentials that we have here. So these are going to be super easy to install. Really only going to take like a minute. Because what happens here is there's that little spring on the side there. So we can actually just go ahead and slide this back towards the rear of the car and then pull forward, and these just pop right out. Have a little clip here. Now I just detailed my car, so it's going to be a lot cleaner than probably most around this area, so clean that up if you can. You might actually have to put this down. This one does have a 3M adhesive on the back. I like cleaning my cars. I like taking care of them, just like the paint and everything like that. I don't think I'm going to remove this, just because the old one does have a seal on here and it just kind of rests on the paint. You're not really going to be able to see this. I mean, unless you really want to like keep it sealed to the car, I guess you can, but this is all internal, and this is a weather pack connector, so if water even does get behind here, it's really not going to get inside this connector, and I want to be able to remove this without having to take off that adhesive and find a new piece of backing for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug it in, and there's going to be two little nubs on the bottom here, and you're going to line that up with the flat part of the connector on the top, and push that in until it clicks or until it's seated firmly. There we go. Oops. And we'll go ahead and just reverse order. So that totally just cleans up the side of the fender there. And we can take a look at the other side, which I can see why some people would like that marker there, but I like having the clean body lines and everything. So let's go ahead and throw on the actual emergency lamps, and we'll take a look. So there's the stock, and we'll come back over. Oh, that's sick. Shoot, for 15 bucks? That's pretty sweet. Now I know it's LED, so the camera might not pick it up perfectly, but that looks freaking great. Oh man. It's subtle too. Man, that's a great little addition. And it looks factory too. It's not like they deviated too far from the same design. They probably just got the same housings and then filled it in with their own unit. That came out great. And let's check out the Shadowline too. I mean, that's about it. Just a short little easy install. Big change to the rear end, especially with the black car, and then we have the carbon fiber spoiler, which if you haven't seen that, sorry for the noise. If you haven't seen that, I actually bought this off ECS Tuning fixed it up. It was only $80 on their scratch and dent program. It actually was showing the carbon fiber weave on the corners. Some of them are broken, but I think that the Shadowline tail lamps just bring the whole rear end together, especially with the M-Tech kit. It looks freaking great. And then these just really cleaned everything up. Anyway, that's it. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.